The former FTX CEO and Democratic Party midterm elections bankroller Samuel Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas on Monday. And get this, at the request of the United States government, according to a U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. This guy better hire a food taster because I think he's going to be Epsteined. Let's get into it. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. So, according to the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested at the Bahamas at the request of the United States government. I'm telling you guys, this guy knows so much about the corruption that the Democratic Party played with him through his phony cryptocurrency exchange that didn't actually have any crypto coins. He was selling to the investors IOUs, but not with their direct knowledge, you know. And if he lets that get out and starts talking to save himself, then I think we should start creating the memes right now that Sam Bankman-Fried did not kill himself. I'm serious about that, too. Remember, Bankman-Fried took that money that he got by selling phony coins, by selling IOUs, if you will. All right, he took that money and he leveraged it to get a bunch of bank loans for millions of dollars, okay? He then took that money and paid social media influencers to say what a great guy he was, that he was altruistic in nature, and things like he didn't get into finance to make money for himself, but to help people, right? He then took the rest of that money and very publicly donated it to Ukraine, all right, which is the big cause of the Democrats. Now, everyone and their mother are trying to debunk that claim about Bankman-Fried funneling money to Ukraine to donate and then having Ukraine fund FTX, okay? And then he using that money to go out to Democrats. Now, first of all, you can't trust anything that the misinformation fake news media tells you. But second of all, some of those people may be reporting that it's false because they don't know the whole story. You know, you think Democrats are going to come out and say, yeah, we did it. No, it's got to be investigated. He then somehow, and it would not shock me at all to find out if he got help from the Biden administration, he somehow got the Ukrainian government in the middle of a war, got them to invest in FTX. He then took all that money and funded all the Democrats' midterm election campaigns. Now, the misinformation fake news media is already trying to walk that back and say, it didn't happen, but the left can't deny it because, I mean, outlets like Politico, the New York Times, WAPO, they already said stories, they already published stories saying that he was the new darling of the Democratic Party. He came in second for donations to the Democratic Party, just under scumbag George Soros. I think Fried, he donated like $36 million to the Democrats, to their campaigns. John Ray, FTX's new CEO, testified before Congress already, telling lawmakers that the company had no record keeping whatsoever, and that they used bookkeeping software QuickBooks to track its multi-billion-dollar portfolio. So the scam story is already out there, starting to take hold. Ray said, quote, "This is really just old-fashioned embezzlement." That's all it is, folks. This is just taking money from customers and using it for your own purpose. Not sophisticated at all. Except he wasn't using it really just for his own purpose. He was using it to fund Democrats. Now, it doesn't matter if it's sophisticated or not, folks. They're trying to fool the American people by telling them that it was just an embezzlement scheme so as to not focus on the Democrats' part in this thing. Look, we just found out that the Democrats were all funded by this Bankman-Fried guy, okay? The Democrats don't want to get caught in a money laundering scheme, and they certainly don't want to have to pay that money back. It looks like Bankman-Fried was caught up in another Democratic Party scam created to gain power. It blew up in their faces, and now the government is trying to weasel its way out of it. You didn't see Bankman-Fried posing with conservatives or Republicans or conservative influencers or people out in Hollywood, did you? No, you didn't. They were all left-wingers that were involved in this, so there's no way that they can actually project it on to the right. Okay, even Kevin McCarthy isn't a right-winger, so there. So the U.S. attorney put out a tweet, right? And in the tweet it says, earlier this evening, Bahamian authorities arrested Samuel Bankman-Fried at the request of the U.S. government, based on a sealed indictment, right, filed by SDNY, Southern District of New York. We expect to move to unseal the indictment in the morning, and we'll have more to say at that time. They forgot to add that Bankman-Fried will be held in a cell with a cellmate who will suddenly be moved out of the cell temporarily, of course, and that all the security camera feeds will suddenly go dead. I'm telling you, this guy's in trouble. And they still don't know all the worldwide ramifications of this scam, because they're saying that it's affecting other markets, okay? They're on the down low about that. They're not, I mean, if you get into, like, the real economists out there, the stock guys and all that, they're going to tell you, yeah, this thing could possibly hurt China. It could possibly, which is a lot of markets around the world now, right? So, I mean, that's it. If that happens, it's game over, right? Now, Bankman-Fried actually came out of whatever rat hole he was hiding in, all right, and started to do interviews saying things like, yeah, it just screwed up. It was not anything about a criminal enterprise. No, it looks everything like a criminal enterprise. This is what the Democrats do, folks. And the worst of it all is that as soon as it became evident that FTX collapsed and those billions of dollars went away and he was on a plane to Argentina, right? The Biden administration sent out that feckless fool, Janet Yellen. They sent her out there to start arguing on the TV talk shows that we should have more oversight on cryptocurrency exchanges. Well, thanks, but no thanks. See, this is what Democrats do. They screw something up in a scam, and in order to avoid getting the blame, they either project that blame onto the Republicans and conservatives, or they come out and say that they are the ones who are going to solve it. Only they will solve the problem, and they will be the ones that are going to do something so that this just never happens again. But it always happens again. And they have the misinformation fake news media to back them up as well. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if he cuts a deal with the government, because the government is not having a good week. I mean, it was just exposed by the Twitter files that the Biden government was absolutely colluding with social media tech tyrants to violate people's First Amendment rights to free speech on the platform. And can you imagine if simultaneously we now prove that the Democrats were behind this scam with FTX? Oh, somehow they will try to cover that up. Well, they already are, but I think Bankman-Fried is in trouble. I think he may be Epstein, I'm telling you. So in related news, White House mouthpiece Karine Jean-Pierre won't say if Joe Biden will return the millions of dollars of campaign donations that he received from Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, let's get a soundbite out of this. Let's listen to this embarrassment.
The president received campaign donations, from him, many prominent Democrats and some Republicans did as well. Will the president return that donation? Does he call on all politicians who got campaign donations and
good question
customer money to return those funds?
So look, I'm covered here by the Hatch Act, limited on what I can say, and anything that's connected to political contributions from here, I would have to refer you to the DNC.
Oh my God. So there you have it. Karine Jean-Pierre. She refused to comment and instead cited the Hatch Act, which is the equivalent of saying, well, we can't comment on anything because there's an ongoing investigation. That's what the Democrats do all the time. We can't comment because it's an ongoing investigation. That's what she did. So Samuel Bankman-Fried is in a hell of a predicament here, folks. If he plays ball with federal prosecutors to save himself from a life in prison, then he has to worry about the health of those video cameras outside his cell, for real. Some are saying that he could be looking at a life sentence for some of the things that he is probably going to be charged with. Now, I don't know the legitimacy of that, but there are people in the know who are saying it. The rumblings are going out there. So Bankman-Fried could either not try to go for a deal and take what the government gives him. But you know what? I don't think he's going to get a deal. I don't think a deal is going to be, well, you know what? No, that's wrong. They may offer him a deal to make it look like everything's normal because everybody gets a plea deal to save time and money of the government, right? But if he tries to get a deal himself on his own through his lawyers by ratting everyone out. I mean, oh my God, can you imagine the fallout from that? And I mean, that means that he will be found one morning where he accidentally slipped in his cell and his neck somehow got caught in a noose. You know? Because there's so much to go on here. I mean, we did stories on a lot of the things that Bankman-Fried did, like when they purchased smaller banks and used them to get money to do wire transfers through to spread it around to fund all the campaigns so that those little banks wouldn't put up red flags before the elections. It's like they did all these crimes and dark things with the tunnel vision to, we got to win the midterms, right? And then after that, we'll worry about it then. Short run hedonistic. All right. Now, unfortunately, the Biden administration is in power, and they are not going to do jack squat and jack left town. You know, they're not going to do anything to get to the bottom of this. I have absolutely no faith in the Republicans doing anything about this either to get to the bottom of it, because the guy who was probably going to be the next Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, he also received money from FTX, and he used that money to campaign against MAGA Republicans who were endorsed by Donald Trump. You can visit rpwmedia.com to read that story. So there's an awful lot to this Samuel Bankman-Fried FTX story that should come out, and we hope it comes out because sunlight is the best disinfectant. But for now, this is all we got. Okay, so he's been arrested. We'll see what happens from that. Don't trust me, we're going to stay up on this. So that's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you in the next one.